will be focused on the MVC stack. So this MVC stack is a .NET framework, right? And we'll be using I'm not sure which one should we use, but I think we'll use number 6, .NET 6. But the programming language that we'll be using this for is C#. And then we'll incorporate this with SQL databases. What else are we going to be using? Yeah, basically that's it. So we know that when we do this, the tools that are going to be needed here is the SQL Server Management Studio. In short, it's like this: the SQL Server Management Studio. We'll also use Visual Studio, which is the short there for VS. What else? What else? So these are the tools. However tools are spelled. This is the stack. Call this the stack. So the stack of things that we'll be doing is the following. You can even remove database here because we all know what SQL is. So this is the approach. We're going to be using model, views, and controller. So this is basically what I'll be doing. It doesn't take a lot of time. I want to start this on this direction of called database first. So there we go. So we'll be using database first. For this, we're going to do a very simple application. This is the brief of the application. Brief. Okay. Dynamic DNA want to record visitors body temperature, in the system. Stop it there. Okay, using the system. Requirements are capture the body temperature of both the visitor and visitors, students, and staff. Each only admin person can perform those functions. What else can we do on this one? Capture the body temperature of both the visitors, students, and staff. Only an admin person can perform that function. Those. Good. we're good to go. So if we're using this approach called database first, we must start by designing the database. Nah? You don't have to do it, because when I'm done here, probably at 3, then it's your turn to do it. So however much time I spent doing this, you must spend less, because you are what? Smart, isn't it? So the logging in here, it's no stress. You already know that you have to log into your SQL server here, and then most of the steps you have already seen as you have written in the test of the exam. So let's see what usually pops up here. So the database I'm going to create is COVID register minus Tendo. It's very important to give out your name there. Okay, COVID register minus Tendo has been designed. So I'm just gonna make sure that we get our thing correct here. So there we go, COVID register minus Tendo. This is the one. To help those who have got visual issues, I'm gonna open a magnifier. So you'll be amazed at the amount of work I'll have to put both on Visual Studio and on SQL, right? You must then compare which model works best. Is it the database first, or is it the coding first? So there are two approaches: code first or database first. Okay. Now we're talking, it says open. I'm just going to open my database, immediately start dealing with my tables. Okay, very first one, let me deal with the people that will be taking the temperatures for. So this will mean I will need a category. So let me just say category data type int, in fact category ID, I prefer underscore category ID, I'll prefer it like this, integer, don't allow nulls, set as primary key, and as usual, since it's a primary key, you guys already know that you must change the identity here. There we go. Then I'm going to put it as category. There we go. Nothing here. Variable character. 50 is fine. Save this table as category. Good. Category description. Okay, that's my first table. My second table is coming up now. Now I'm going to create those users. So I'll just say user ID. Prefer the D also to be in caps. Int, don't allow nulls. Let me just go with full names. Variable char. I forgot to set this as a primary key, and also to set the identity. Very two important things there. Done. Full names, don't allow nulls. This is when I'm registering a person. So full names, let me just go and look for an email. Variable char. And then just realize that I'll need an additional table so that I show you this in real life. So I think I only saw one person who did it today when it comes to gender. Gender ID, integer, don't allow nulls. Then I will say what is the actual gender. Description, variable character, 50. Set as primary key, and then set this as an identity specification. Done. save this table. I'm going to call it gender, press OK. Then I'll come back here. I'll include that gender ID here as an integer. Don't allow nulls. But since this is now a key from a different table called gender, we must create the relationship, right, between the two. This is the very first time we start to see that relationship. The other thing we're gonna see, let's just call it category here, category, but then we have to call it category ID because remember we already have a table for category. So this also will be another foreign key. So I'm sticking to stop with two foreign keys here, like just the gender and the category. So here's the gender table is ready, category has been done already. I'm dealing with the user now. So let me save the table first. I'm gonna call this users, done. And then from there, here are my two keys that are supposed to be foreign keys. So add the one, I'm dealing with gender now. Gender is coming from a table called gender. It's called gender ID. When it comes here, it's also called gender ID. Done with the first key. Add the second key. Come here, column and what specification. I now have to deal with category, category ID, category ID. Done with my two keys. So both the three tables that I've just created are now doing the combos are communicating. Okay, there we go. I agree to that. So that's a user. What? Now we need a table that actually captures this temperature I was speaking about, right? So let's go create an additional table. Then we're just gonna call it temperature ID as the very first key, which deserves to have a primary key. Hey, forgot to mention it's an int. Primary key as an int, set it up as an identity. Good. Then I'll say import user ID. Okay, so user ID and the actual temperature. Just say about the temperature. This one, let's capture it as money. Money. Then should also capture the time when the temperature was taken. Okay, let's say the date. As date and the time as time, maybe, and tick all of these things are required. This is supposed to be an int because it's a foreign key. Body temperature, money, everything looks fine. I just need to save this table first and then temperature, done. Then set up the foreign key, which is user ID. So relationships, add, come here, deal with this. This we are looking for you. Oh, yeah, coming from users, it's user ID. When it comes here, it's also user ID. Press OK. Press close. Finally, we press save. Now, all of these tables are doing the combos are communicating. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if my views will work. If they don't work, okay, the index is out of bound. But that's the end of all of my tables. So if I expand on the tables, you should see my four tables: category, gender, temperature, and users. Now, temperature depends on users, right? Users depends on what category and gender to be there in the first stage. So, with that out of the way, it's time for Visual Studio now. Now in Visual Studio, it's nothing scary here. We're just gonna go and say we're creating a new project. The project does take a lot of time to be created. But the aim is to finish this in the next 10 minutes. This app should be working. Okay, now I'm gonna go to and create an application for ASP.NET Core Web Application, which is based on the model view controller. Okay, and I'm gonna call this the same name as the database, COVID minus register minus Tendo. Next. Okay, it's asking me for the .NET. I'm gonna agree with the current one, but they are releasing number 6 very soon. Let's see what else do I need to worry about. Okay, this might not be the actual project kind that I want, so I'm gonna try to cancel it. Okay, didn't have much time to cancel it, so we'll see if it will actually work. Okay, as I said, not the correct format of an app that I want. Maybe I want this one. Test this one, and I'll just call it Cov. Yeah, this is the one I want. So when I'm here, I'm gonna go with, I'm creating an ASP.NET Web Application. So I'm gonna select the MVC kind, and then on authentication, I will select individual accounts. Press OK. Then from there, I will just press create. So the framework which has been chosen for me is .NET Framework 4.7.2. Although we do have the latest one, which is version 5. So we've already spent 15 minutes. So this is the brief in the meantime, if you forgot what I was dealing with. So far we're done here. There's nothing more to be, like anything we need to do on this section. We're now busy here on the framework, setting up our environment. Then we'll jump into C#. We've already used this one. We're now using this. In terms of the tools, we have not touched anything here so far because this is strictly C#. We've done our part for the approach, which is the database first. And I think based on these requirements, we've done everything that needs to be done. Okay, here is our app. I'm gonna try to get back to the magnifier again. Maybe this time around we'll have some joy. So there are some few folders that you need to be aware of. Remember, we said we're dealing with MVC, right? And I told you it's in short, it's MVC, but then they're dealing with models, views, and what? Controllers, right? These are the most important folders that we will find in this application. So if I run this application so far, it comes with a template so that you guys can see what I'm dealing with. I'm just gonna run it with, I've not coded anything, right? So you just load, it's like a Windows form, then it's just gonna load and show you what has been built so far on your behalf, something that you must go and modify. and I will again start showing you how to modify the MVC file to make it look like yours. Let's hope by 3 o'clock I will be done. So the good thing is, if you run it for the very first time, it does take a lot of time, but then once you run it as you're busy programming, it's much better in terms of responding. So if you check here, our app will run at a localhost port, which is 44308. Yours could run at a different port based on what ports are available on your machine. Any questions so far? Do you understand the kind of application we're trying to build? Okay. Any question on database, the way of designing it? No questions? I knew you guys are smart. You understand everything. That's how good you are. Like you don't have any questions. Okay, so this is the app or the template. It has got what we call application name. It's like a logo here, some funny things here. This is something they call the Jumbotron, some links to take you somewhere. There's a home button which simply just bring you here. It works the same as this one. There's an about us page. It's like a website, né? There's a contact us page that you can clearly go and change if you want. So let's start there. Let's start by making this template looks like it's ours, né? Like it's our thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start right there. Close the app. So how do you personalize this template? So whatever we're seeing there, right, when I was running the project, it's what we call the views, right? So from our brief here, we are now dealing with what? This section. So everything is separated here. So if you are dealing with the front end, that is the views, right? You want to modify it, make it look nice. So for example, if I go and say I'm looking for MVC, change my view background color, because I'm always searching for this, is the easiest one. There's a certain answer on Stack Overflow here, which is very quick. It will tell us how do I change that. Someone is telling us to look for .NET bar 8 answers, 2 answers, but I'm basically looking for this. So this is now CSS. So if you have done any web development, this will be easy for you. All right, let this go. This we will look back to it later on. So this is the folder I'm dealing with. So that file I had opened is an index file. So you see we've got an account page, we've got a home page, a manage page, a shared, right? So if you go to the home page and you look into an index file, this is what was loaded when that page opened, right? It's gonna give you an HTML kind of code that you must deal with. So if I just make some small changes, like, okay, there's a Jumbotron here, and then I'm gonna remove this whole section. But you need to be very good with your HTML eyes, right? You must know what you're changing or what are you adding, right? So for example, let me remove this and run it again, and you will tell me what has been removed, because you guys are what? Smart. But you saw I removed something, right? I removed the whole section, the whole division which was there. But I want to see if you guys can pick it up when it's running. Okay, as I said, the second time it's usually quicker because it's still sitting in the local host. Can you pick up what was removed? What? There was a big thing here which is like return HTML what, right? And not only that, what about this name? Let's go check where is this thing. Because it's just saying application name. Can we actually get it? Like, you can even reduce the news here and say we will code later. Right, there we go. You can even redirect the links. I usually don't like the links taking me anyway, so I will remove everything on the links, everything on the link out, and then on the news or on these paragraphs, I'm just gonna modify it such that there is nothing. Just pasting. We will code later. We will code later. And then in terms of what's written at the top, instead of saying get more libraries, I will write something else. We can even write our names, but let's just say this is Inspire testing. Are you guys from Inspire testing? Which one is the sponsor here? Which company is sponsoring this learnership for you guys? Indigo. Cube. We'll code later. Let's change what's written on the link to just say Cube. And Inspire. Maybe the last one, let's make Lightstone. Just gonna put light, we'll code later. Lightstone. Okay, these are some, but do you see that we don't have that thing which is at the top, right? Do you remember that thing which was saying application name? We don't have it, but you must look for it. Like on the contact us page, you know, you can tell us, or hey, by the way, we're in Surrey Avenue. Hey, it's Monday, don't laugh. 011 140 6767. We don't know what is this AW4, but you can simply personalize it to how you want, right? So rent back, phone number. You see, I've written the phone number somewhere wrong. And then there we go. I think this has been put very nicely. Support, you know. Then we give you an email, mail to, for example, you know. Oh, that's dynamic. DNA.co.za. Just say mail this to T Bakari, and then I can do the same here. But then that means you must also be careful of this one, which is here. Done. You know, and then the about, you can go there, add what you want to add. There's nothing much, you want to have anything there. But let's look for that thing I was telling you about. So that thing, you cannot find it on home, you cannot find it on manage, you cannot find it anywhere else, right? You'll find it on this folder called shared. So if you go to shared and you say you're looking for layout, that's where you're gonna find the titles of each page, right? So for example, this is the title, so I'm just gonna say COVID register. Right, I want this to be my footer as well. So if you scroll down, you'll definitely find it the footer. Can you see the footer here? This is what is written at the bottom. So I'll just say COVID register there as well. No scary things here. There are some, you see that thing which was here, okay? So I can change this and also call it COVID register. And then there are other links here like home, about, and all those kind of things. We have not started anything yet, but while we're here, I want to add more links. Né? So what I will do is, this is how those links have been designed. I want to add, how many tables do I have on my database? 4, né? I want to add a link for each table. This is how it works. So I'm going to copy this. Hey, copy me. Copy, done. Paste. All right. You see I've copied, né? It's now 6 links. In fact, I'm going to keep the home as the home, because this is what will be displayed on the screen, right? This first section of these links, it's what's shown on the screen. So if I don't want it to say home, I can just say take temperature, or just say temperature, or capture. Let's call it capture. Capture, and then the other table was what? If we have the temperature, the table about categories, right? Category. The other one was about what? What? Users. Okay. Users. The other one? Gender. The other one? That's it. Okay, I actually just need 4. I don't need your home, your what. Ne? We're good, ne? That's all. But so far, if you click these things, they will still take you to index. They will still take you to about. You see, I have to deal with how do they take me. This is now, let me save this and show you what we have so far. Oh, I'm left with one last part, one last one. How do you change the styling, right? Like that line I was telling you about which we found on the internet, of changing the background color. You saw the background color at the top, it's black, ne? And what's returned there is actually blue. So I want to make it have like dynamic DNA colors, like your blue and your yellow. So it's opening here, zoom. Okay. So that you'll find it under what we call content. There are so many Bootstrap content, but let's look for bootstrap.css. So this is your CSS file now, and because this CSS has got so many lines, I can show you how many line of code these guys have done just to have that kind of page. This is crazy, you know. So there's no way I'm gonna study these lines and know what's happening, right? So what we usually do, we look for things in the internet. You just search, I want to change the color, I want to change the font. Because this is a long code, someone would have asked to say, where do we find the thing for what? So me, I've already asked, I'm going to do control find, control paste. This is the background color. Do you see the background color? But I want it to be blue, but the blue must be dynamic DNA blue. So let me say dark blue color code. This is what developers are doing at work. You don't know. You think there's someone who knows this thing by heart? There's no way. You see I made the color blue now. The one for dynamic DNA, which one is it, guys? The middle one is more purplish, guys. Come on. It can't really be that one. It's almost darkish. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. So this is the code that I must use to change this one to this. Okay, I need to actually give it a hash. It's a hash code. There we go. And then the border color, let's make it orange, but the orange must be also, you know, our dynamic DNA orange. So dynamic DNA orange should be something like this. I love this one. Out. We're trying to get the theme here, ne? So okay, inverse, the brand, the what. I'm not sure which one. Okay, I think I must replace this color, this one, with this. Okay, put a hash. Hopefully it will be recognized. So everywhere I see this color, I'm replacing. I'm not sure what is it, but I have a very great feeling. My feeling is great about it. Yeah, you must have a feeling. Who are you if you don't have a feeling? Here it is again. You see? Out. Here it's appearing again. I just feel like, you know, numbers like 9 and what. Those are not my colors. Okay. Let's hit the road running. We're running the app now. Let's hope for the best. Let's pray. It has opened, eh? Do you see the changes? You see it does not look like white originally. It's getting there. Do you see those changes I made at the top on the links? Ne? They are here. You see those other things I did. See, but this button, chances are they're not going to take you anywhere now because I removed the links, eh? You remember, eh? So this thing, it's useless so far. Somewhere you will click here, it will take you to contact us or what. You see? Here it is. If you click here, it sends an email. What. All those things are here. But now, let's make this thing work. Because we can't just say, well, we've done some stuff. This is the part where now we are done with the views. We now need to deal with connecting the database to the app. Ne? Okay. Most important part of your life in programming. Connecting the database to the app. Okay, very simple thing. If you are using Visual Studio, you just come here, you look for Server Explorer. If it's not there, you can go to View, you will look for it, you will find it there. And then you say connect to a certain database. There we go. Here, guess what do you type here? Do you know what to type? It's looking for a server name. So when you open your Server Management Studio, it looks like this, eh? Server name, you take that server name. It's needed on Visual Studio. You say, okay, here is the server name. Do we use Windows Authentication or we use SQL? SQL. That's why I said you guys are smart. Don't you have a username and password to log into the database? You do, eh? Indigo Cube, or is it Cube 123? That's you guys, right? But me, I have mine. I think it goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna save my password. The database name. Did I save the database name? I think it was. Okay. So, COVID. You see, it's coming up. There we go. Let's test if ever these things are fine. You can see we are Mujojo here, right? We are judging. Next up is what? You just press OK. Remember, you were just saying the two must talk, right? Guess what? These two are now talking. You see, they say green thing here. The other ones, you see, they've got red. They're cancelled. This one is the one. You can see it's saying Visual Studio is now not the app. Eh? Visual Studio can see the database. Right? Good. Now, if it's highlighted, you will see on this side, it will also provide you with what you call connection string. Can you see it here? So you just highlight the connection string, you copy it, and guess where do you take it? Now you are dealing with a different animal now. Right? You are done with your CSS and your front end, your views. Now you need to go to to connect, you need to go to web.config, right? On this file, you will find some nice configurations. You see, they say default connection, right? They say this is the connection string. This takes you to a local database, right? I'm going to say I don't want a local database. I want this to take me to my new connection string, which is this one. Okay, the password is hidden, so let me delete and write the correct password. Then there we go. That's the user, that's the database, that's what you are done. You are basically done from here. From here, all you do, you save. Okay, don't forget to save. Now, you must always build now. From this stage, whatever you do, always go and say, build the solution, eh? So that you see if ever there's any problems. Let's check. Everything's still fine. 0 failed. 1 has passed. Good. Now, This app can talk to my database. Are you listening? I've successfully connected it. Was that difficult? It was easy, né? But it doesn't know those tables that are there so far, né? I must make it talk to those tables. So what I will do, you will go to what we call the model, right? And then you will check how many models are here. There are a few models, so you're gonna say, create a new model, right? Add a new model, but this model is a special one. It must be this one, ado.net entity data model, right? I click and say I want this model. What is the name of the model? I will just say it's COVID. Press OK. Okay, it's asking me, how do you want to do this model? I will say, design the model for me by looking at the database. This English here is very important. Okay? It's not written here, but that's what I'm telling you. It's asking you what kind of model do you want to create, right? Then I'm saying, I want a model which is so smart, like this student in this class, that when it's looking at the database, it's able to know what to create. Ne? Remember I told you it is looking at the database, but it doesn't know those tables. So I want it to know the tables and know how they were created. And the way Visual Studio so it's created, it will create the app for us based on the table. Smart, ne? Let's check. So I will say yes from from EF designer. Next. Now it's gonna look and say, should we include sensitive data like the password? I will say yes, include that. Next. Now it's gonna look at the database. Okay, there it is. It found few things in the database, right? If I click here, I've clicked all the tables, but let's confirm. Expand, expand. Do you see all my tables that I created, ne? So it's saying, are you sure you want to create an app based on this? I'll say yes. Siyabangena. Okay, now it's gonna start thinking. Okay, because this process now, the way it's thinking now, it needs to really think. At this stage, it's really thinking. So what's happening in the background is to say, it's going to generate a code, like coding, to say we have a database there, we have a table called category, right? Let me design a code for this person not to code anymore, but then their job will just to, call up a function. Do you see what it has done? Yes, include everything. I don't even know what I'm agreeing to, but yes, it's always the answer. You see the conceptual view of that database. How nice it is, eh? Can you do such things? Can your boyfriend ever? Your girlfriend? Indo they must. Right. Now we have our tables, Well, we have our tables, You just need to, as I've said, at this stage, all you need to do, whatever you do, always build, If you miss this step, trust me, you are going to fail. One succeeded, 0 failed. We're still good, We build. Just to make sure, let's build again. Yeah, you're never sure. Build. It's still saying 0 failed. 0 succeeded. Okay, everything is up to date. Now, what we have just done, it's called the model. So what is the use of a model? Remember, we've done the views, The model is the one that is responsible, like it's your classes if you have done programming. Those are your classes, right? Very important. So if you can't work without the models. So lastly, we need to deal with the controllers, the C part now. So on controllers is very simple. You right click, you say add a controller. Done. Now it's gonna ask you, what kind of controller do you want? Do you want an empty controller? Remember, a controller, you are trying to control each table that you have there. So I want a controller from MVC 5, which has got views. Okay, I will click this one and I will say add. Now I set each controllers for each table, So pick the model. Which one did we create? Oh, we must pick the class first, which will be I don't know which one is it. Was it application DB context? Or is this entity? Okay, let's start with the tables. Ooh. Let's check. Yeah, these are the tables. Give me the name of the tables we created. Category, there we go. I'm not sure which model are we using here. Is it entities or... Let's go with the first one. Let's trust this guy. You heard him, it was him, eh? When it's not working, it was him. We added, we're adding. This stage, it's easy. We've not coded, eh? You saw we just added this, and that was not coding. Changing the colors and all, that was not coding. We will finish this app without coding. Yeah. It's easy, eh? Wait until you come back. When do you come back? Friday. Wait until you come back on Friday and you have not managed to do it. It's basically kicking you. The easy part is for us, the gurus, who have been doing this thing for ages. You wake me up in the night and say, design me an app. Or you are a client, you want a system. Ne? Remember, you must decide first. What do you want to know in life? You can't be worse in everything. Eh? In the software development life cycle, there's only two ways to develop an app. It's either you become a very good coder, like you can code like no one can touch you in coding, or you are very good in designing database. Well, I'm good in both. You will see on Friday. Is it Friday? On Friday, we are going to do the same app, but the approach will be code first. Which means there will be no need for us to even touch Server Management Studio. We close it, but we'll do things on that side. Then later we'll say, go look into the Server Management. Tell me if those tables are not there. But then now, guess what? Now we did the tables, eh? Visual Studio is working its magic in the background right now. Why is it taking so long? In the back, it's doing its magic. So what's going to happen now with this first one we just did for category? Without any coding, when you run the app right now and we link one of the links called category there to this table, eh, for category. When we go to that link, we are able to add a category. You are able to remove it. You are able to manage that category, you know, all that process. Okay, when it does scaffolding, I'm happy. That means it's done installing the what? Ah! It was that guy. We're using the other thing. I don't think we're using this. Let's try this. It should be easy. Why is it difficult? Where's my thing? Okay. It's the magnify. You see, it's here, ne? Just done its magic. I told you that guy. Did you eat? He didn't eat. Okay. Now we have one controller, ne? Edit with views. Then I'm gonna right click here and say build. As I told you. Okay, things are still fine. So let's add all of them at once. I think controllers don't need much. Add a new controller again. Did I click anywhere else? Okay, magnify controllers. Add a new control. Okay, with views again. Add. Okay, the entities are already there now. What is the name of the other table? The simple one. Gender. You see, the next controllers will be easy. Wow, scaffolding done. Another controller. Come on. You see, it's done. Another controller. Add. We don't need to build here. We've been building. What was the other table? Let's go for users. Then temp. Oh, who typed temperate? We're adding. This is our coding. Imagine you're a developer and this is what you're doing every day. And the app, it's a nice app. You will think it's a joke. Like, you'll be so surprised. The last one is users. You're not going to believe the way the app will be working and the amount of changes we'll have to make. Like, believe me, the only changes we'll be making is that you saw on our tables, the names of our tables and our columns. Some of them have got underscores, and that is not good for a user, right? Like a user doesn't need to know what is user ID. Done. Let's go link these things and build. Okay, build first. Let me blow your mind, guys. Let me blow your mind. Where is the views? Now, if you remember correctly, this folder for views never had these folders. Do you see these folders now? There's a new thing that has been done for me. Like, there's a home page for categories, a home page for genders. So let's go to the one we were dealing with, which was layout. Where was it? Was it on shared? Shared layout. Now here, this is where it gets lit. You remember these links? Capture, category, and what, right? I want them to always arrive at index. All of them. Index of what? We'll deal with it just now. So both of them are going to land at a page called index, right? But from which folder? Let's deal with the folders now. The genders, there's a folder called genders. I will copy it. Where's gender? So index of gender, from the folder called gender. You see there's a page called index. Okay, what about the other one? Temperature is now called temperatures. To avoid mistake, temperature, we're putting it here, remember? Here. To avoid mistake, I'm copying the name here. I'm not typing it out. Categories. The folder categories. Users. Do we have users? Oh, users are users. But to avoid mistake, you copy. Right. We come here to users. Paste. Believe me, guys, the app is finished. Yeah, we're done. I can publish this and sell it today. You think it's a joke? Life is that easy, guys. Where's the app? Now it's taking time. I'm sure it's that scaffolding we did. There we go, ne? Should we test our logic? I'm also scared, eh? Where should we start? Gender, ne? Let's click on gender. When we click here, it takes us to the index page for gender, right? Is there any gender so far? No, right? What I was talking about is like gender description. This is not good for a user, right? We can just say gender description without an underscore. So create new. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Create. If it's here, it's in the database. New. Female. Create. It's happening in the database, guys. Magic, eh? Do we need more? We're good, ne? What else should we do? Category, ne? These are category of users. So we'll just say this visitor and the staff. So this is a staff member, and then there's also what? Students. Done. Yeah, that portion for admin. Well, it's coming. Admin. Don't ever think life is this simple, eh? It's not like that. This one is totally different. What else? Users now, ne? Because we did category, we did gender, right? That's what we need for a user, isn't it? Let's go to a use. There's no user, ne? Create a new one. Do you see those things are pulling up? Eh? And it can only be those things there is any other, like, hello, do you see our things? They are here. There we go. There we go. But you can see what's happening, right? Now, let's go to capture. I want to capture a new body temperature. See, now I just select who am I capturing from the list of people that I have. Ne? What is the body temperature? I write 36.8. The date. Here we might want to pick up a date automatically, right? Or have a person select from a calendar, you know, instead of typing. Eh? Together with the time, we can do that. Isn't this the end of the app? Didn't we finish the app? Did I code anything? No. You are surprised. Only if you knew this when you were at TUT, you would have been done. Your life would have been easy. But you see, we even have a register and login button here. But let's first make this date to be picked up automatically. So, and the time to be a nicer time. And this is also, you know, what do you call it? Mobile friendly. Can you see? Like, you can take this to a phone. It's still the same. You see, the menus are coming here now. Did I code these things? No. That's what I'm saying. Choose your path correctly. Yeah? Do you want to be it will be difficult to do both of them at the same time. To be a very good database designer and try to be a good programmer. You must choose where do you want to fall. So if the database module is finished and you still don't know 4% of what we're doing, here's a new career. Your new career now is that you must be a very good coder. Ne? Because on Friday, the same app must start at Visual Studio. Ne? Without us touching what? Database. But then when we're done and we say run, we must find the database existing. And you're not even going to code one thing of SQL. You're not going to write create. Never. We're not coding like that. It will be pure C#. But when you're done, Visual Studio must understand that you're trying to create this app. MVC. It's the new thing out there. We developers, we love this. So let me check this one, register. Because I never designed this table, but guess what? It's going to be there. There's no table like this on my database. But guess what? I can do something like this. So let me just say pass at word 1, 2, 3. Every functionality works here. Like matching the password. Did I code this? But it's here. How long will it take you to code matching the password? But Friday, Friday, it will be us coding matching the passwords. Visual Studio must not help us. We must be the ones saying, please match the password for us. Pass Edward 1, 2, 3. Register this user. You will see it's taking some time. You see, it's even welcoming me. Hi, welcome. Kumnandi. Kumnandi. When we're coding. Right? Wait. I said on capture, but then we have too many links. What is this one link to? This link to? Nothing, Oh, we never created the body temperature. Okay, let's close. And then we look into the database. What is happening in the database? How many tables do we have? 4, ne? Let's check. Let's refresh. How many do we have? This is our app now. Because for whatever we're doing, like if I go to, these are the admin users, I think, and their roles and what user logins, net users. So let's check top 1000 rows of this table. We must find this user we just registered now. You see the user? This is that user. But there's some gibberish information, but we see the email. You can't even see the password. And then, what about the genders? The genders are here because we added them just now on the app. Here are our genders. Kumnandi encoding. Hey. Temperatures, we don't have anything yet because I want to code something first. So if we go to the view for temperature and we go to the create, you'll find a whole lot of HTML code designed for us. Can you see it? This is it. It's saying things that I myself don't even know. I'm not interested in these things. So this one is what? It's a user ID, okay? It's gonna pick up user ID, but then I think, because it's a drop-down list, it's supposed to say full name of the person. So it's a label for this. Now, user ID. Instead of user ID, I'm gonna write full name. How I know where to change? I don't know. I'm asking. Say, how do you know this is where you're supposed? Like, you can see. How can you change this brown one? It's too brown, this one to be changed. You must look for. A string is much more easier. You see a string, it's much more easier. The temperature is just gonna write body temperature, but because it's a label for, let me go and just add another string here. I don't know how I know these things. Temperature. Okay. Temperature. And then lastly, it's going to ask for a date. We said we want to pick a date, ne? Ooh. Oh, yes. Me. You see. When you're smart, you are smart. Let's see. What's happening here? Others, I don't know. Okay, but I'm thinking, okay, this is the label. Okay. This is the actual thing. Comma. It works. Comma. Add type. Comma. Add type. Ooh, will this work? Right. Add type was to date. I don't know. I think there was a time as well, eh? There was a time, comma. Instead of dates, try to put time. See if this thing works. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I didn't see any errors there. Plus, there's always Stack Overflow. Come on. You can always ask it. How do we get the time on MVC? Do you see them? You see the changes? Who's the guy? Who's your daddy? But here, okay, this is still fine. Okay, 33.6. But there could be other temperatures when you are putting. Oh, guys, this is wonderful. You see, we pick up which day. This one. What time? Come on, come on. What's your date? Create. It's in the database. There we go. Here are the other functionalities maybe we didn't explore. We can check the details of this. You see, it picks up the details. We hit edit. Well, like we don't like the temperature here. This guy was too cold. Let's increase this temperature. He's feeling some heat. We just ate pap. Save. You see, new temperature. Come on. We're like, we don't like this guy temperature. Let's delete the whole thing. He's no longer in the database. Kumnandi coding, ne? Did we code? No. Is this not exciting? Yo. There? Oh, okay. The windows, ne? Don't forget the windows. Any questions? Ask questions. That's MVC for you. No questions. This one she's picking. You are picking, madam. How? Why? Oh, huh? You are resigning. She just saw, I can't do this. Is it too much? But you see that the work we had to do was in database. Not here. Like the coding part was not involved. If you are seeing how we coded, we just went there, added new links, remove what we don't want, because there was a template already, right? Remove what we don't want, make it look nice. That was it. The only job that you have now is to go and say, this is saying body temperature. Let's remove it from saying body temperature, because I only change it to here. You see here now, it's no longer saying body temperature. It's saying temperature, right? But it's able to pick up full names. But there are other places where it's writing ugly things like category under description. Oh, come on, this is underscore description. It's boring. Users, you see here, there's somewhere it says category description, gender description. Suppose you just say gender, right? Only for the user. In the database, we know it's like this. But for the user, it doesn't look nice. Ne? To call them like this. Like, especially when we say create. Check what it pulls up now. Gender ID, category ID, right? But then these are things you can change. You can easily locate and say, oh, we were in users. Where is users? Here, and we're trying to create a new user, and then things which were written there were not nice. Like full names, we're happy with full names. Email, we're happy with it. Gender ID, we're not happy with gender ID. I'm just going to remove this string and call it gender. Category ID, we don't have such gibberish. It's called category. Save. Run. You will see now on this specific page, things will look much more better. There we go. You see now, it's no longer saying gender ID or category ID. It's now able to pick up what's happening. But do you remember when I was telling you when we're doing normalization to say, if you have a form and then there's a drop-down list or a bullet, you must just know that those things are not from this table. For example, do you see that gender is not from this table? Simply because you are selecting it from existing what? Values, right? Even visitors. So even if we had more, like country, where you come from, the class, what are you here to do, reason for visit, that means all of those things we're going to have their own table somewhere else. And we import them by means of what? Foreign key. Those relationships I was doing that side. I don't know what else to teach. The what? The end is done. No, we're left with one thing. Let's read. It says here, only an admin person can perform that, like all these functions, right? Okay, let's go and log it for the admin. Okay, I'm logged on. If I log off, can you see I can still manage users? Did I say Jesus? Manage Jesus. Users. Mondays are dangerous. I can still access almost everything, even if I'm not what? I've not logged in. Let's deal with that part. I'm sure it's very simple. Because some of us, these things, and they are not taught at schools, these things. That's why you need learnership. Even in internships, you won't be taught such things. They just tell you we want an app. And look how easy it is to do an app. Can you think COVID register was this simple? I'm sure you were thinking of, then we're going to do one, then we'll present next year. We did it now under an hour. It's working. We can give them at reception and say, start using it. Come on, what's wrong with it? Then they start giving us feedback. No, when we click here, we want it to have flowers, things like that. That is users now. So, what are we here to do? To log the views. So let's go to this one. There's this one called, under shared, it's called login partial. It's very nice. So it's a very long code. So what happens here is, because I usually don't know what the code is doing, I copy all of it. This is for logging in, eh? So what happens is, it's saying if the user is authenticated, right, something will happen. It will say hello what. This is when you have logged in. If you have not what, then it will deal with you on the else. So I'm gonna copy this, all of this statement, because I don't know what are they being used for, and let me save them somewhere. Modify it when it's here. Okay, now it's here. So this is it. I'm gonna remove everything in the else, and I'm also gonna remove everything in the if. Ooh. I'm not sure, but hey, it looks like it does the thing. No, everything in the using. Here. Not sure. Yeah, that one. Okay. Now you guys are okay. Let me bring it back. No, out. How do we write a big thing? Oh, it's an H, no? The biggest one would be what? H1 or H6? HTML, guys. PHP. Madam, hello. We are here. Oh, you are texting another dot. Hey, why don't you know coding now, Nama? Okay. H4. A closing of H4. Now in the middle I want to say, it's the else. It's in the else. In the else, we'll then say you must log in first. Then I'm going to copy this code, all of it, copy it, go to one of the views. I just want to show you in one. Let's go to one of the views, which is temperatures. Temperatures, when you land in temperature, okay, you have landed where? After saying index. Okay, we don't even need this index. Here, we paste the code. Here it is. But this is for the when it's working. So everything which was there out, we put it in the thing. We check if we have errors. It looks as if we don't have. We run. Ooh, I'm so scared. Let's see. Last time, remember, I logged out, ne? So this page is not supposed to load anything. Do you see what it's saying now? You must log in first, eh? Let's check if I log in. Log in. Yes, I think it still remembers me. You see now, if I go to capture, it looks ugly, but hey, it works. There's a link here. Yeah, it was ugly. I'm sure it's that code. I need to just, hit it on the side. There's some stuff I put there. But this is basically it, guys. Like if you have not logged, if you log off and you try to go to capture, it will tell you what? Log in first, right? And then if you don't want anyone to register, you can remove this link, so no one will register. You will give them the username and password, so that, because now if they still have the freedom of registering, that means when they realize that log in first and we don't have credentials, they register themselves, they are in, right? So you can turn off this functionality, then people are good to go. Okay, yeah, you are doing this. If it doesn't work, you are not leaving. Let's go. Hey! Hey! You should have seen your faces. What's wrong?